finding orchid. Yeah. Okay. Ready. Yeah. I'm pointing her to her now. Yeah.
I want to sit next to me. I'm sure is that possible?
可以。
椅子。
可以。我就
拿个椅子，后面还有。
没关系，你要是有的话就没有就没关系，我放这个就行，没关系。
So now we call it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Pretend it's pajamas.
Sorry. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I just Hi everyone. I was running. Yeah, sorry. I would have, if I had seen it, I would have texted it back. These are like, I was really
I wear like obviously pajamas.
We're recording already.
We're rolling. Thank you for being here. Wow, great. Thanks everyone for being here. We have such a good turnout. My name is Dr. Li. I teach Chinese language and culture here in modern language and literatures. So I'm working with Professor Swanson, who is in the audience, for co-organizing today's event. We have our great pleasure to have invited Perry Lee, who is an artist and educator, and as I recently learned, entrepreneur as well, to come here and teach us this workshop. I'd like for us to start with a little Q&A with our guest, so we get to know him a little better. Okay. So I'm going to ask a few questions, and you guys please feel free to think of questions to ask if you like. Okay. So Henry, can you tell us a little bit about how you got started to become an artist, and what is your journey has been like so far?
Okay. Long story short, I was born in 1959. And when I get into primary school, it was starting of a chaotic era called the Cultural Revolution, similar to today's U.S. Many Chinese. So the normal education was interrupted during the 10 years of the turmoil. I survived as an artist because there's no college entry exam during the 10 years period, and everybody tried to get into a propaganda team. You know what that means? The political propaganda team.
Yeah.
They do, they paint, they dance, they sing, like a socialist realism art. Have you heard of that? Yeah, that's what when I started to at the age of 13, I studied traditional art with a master in our hometown Nanjing, which is the old capital. It has a lot of cultural history, and my teacher was a high school student, high school teacher, but he was educated in Central University of Nanjing, the old Republic, China, and a very famous master like Zhang Daqian, Xu Beihong, that, and so I was kind of trained in the traditional manner, but in the daytime I create art for the poster. We have to kind of twist it a little bit. Like when I studied birds, he would teach me how to do the birds, and I would put a row of birds on electric wire to symbolize the modernity, something like that. But anyways, that's how I started, and I started to paint landscape in the age of 14. Yeah, at the 15, I entered several level from district to city to province level, and at that time there was no like a commercial gallery, right? So everything is like a government-sponsored exhibition. We call the youth and the 少年儿童 and the children and youth exhibition. And so they screen every level from very bottom up. I was screened all the way to the provincial level, and then was one of my painting was published in the newspaper of the provincial government newspaper. Everybody knows, it was. So I suddenly become a well-known artist in my schools. My school is a very old school called Key Point School, 重点中学. It was like a tourist spot. So foreign tourism will come to see our classroom like this, and I will demo. My painting will be given as a gift. So it was decorated in the conference room of the school. When they sit, they will see big paintings like I did. Was very proud. So I spent a lot of time painting instead of learning math. So after the Cultural Revolution ended, I was so lucky that I was the first graduate students in that year. That's 77. After Deng Xiaoping come back to power, they restarted the college entry exam. But we have 10 years of graduates competing for the college entry, to get into school. So I didn't have any chance to get into fine art, which I love. So, but my math is not too bad. I got pass level, so I become an archaeologist majored. So archaeology is the closest to art. So I was so lucky to be to study archaeology in Nanjing University. It was very 我们说冷门，就是 very minority kind of very only like a dozen people in the major, but now it's a big department maybe. So I studied all the way to graduate school, majored in archaeology. But when and I taught 2 years in the University of Nanjing University, archaeology, and so during that during my study and I visited all the famous museums in the country. I toured all the beautiful places, so I had a chance to see a lot of art. And I also do art. I co-founded a center for Oriental or Eastern art research center. Because when I became a faculty after graduate. And 2 years later, I come to this country in 1987. I studied social history in UW, University of Washington, Seattle. Another 10 years, actually. But I did summer job painting T-shirts and sell them on the street. I also taught university extension, evening classes, the Chinese brush painting. So I also, after graduating, I had like a two-year practice, what is called, like a temporary teaching position in the University of, Western University of Washington in Bellingham. So I also taught not just cultural history class on Japan and Korea, because my major is also in East Asia culture and also Chinese brush painting. Maybe that's too long. Yeah, that's how I started as an artist. And since then, artist for me is a hobby to start with, and become a profession, full-time job. I just I'm teaching and selling art supplies now. Yeah.
And they are actually the whole family of artists, right? You, your wife,
oh yeah,
your
yeah.
If I can ask one more question, then I'll see if students have questions. So What is the biggest difference between traditional Chinese painting versus Western painting, and what is one thing we need to understand in order to do it well today?
Okay. Yeah, I think I will answer the question when we actually doing it. Yeah, to be very to make it very simple, we use the two words 写意, right? Writing ideas or idea expression or idea writing. I will explain this concept of brush painting when we do it. So it's very different than realistic approach to painting or drawing. It's start from the idea. So you must have a mind image, and so when you do it, you write instead of depict the object. Yeah. Okay.
Sounds good. Any questions from the audience?
When you were studying archaeology, what era did you specialize in?
Oh, I specialize in medieval archaeology, not prehistory, but historical. The six dynasties capital in Nanjing is my major. So I dig tombs. Actually, the field actually covered the Han through Tang Dynasty, the medieval China. So my major is six dynasties in the disunion period of disunion. Not the warring state, but the second disunion, after the falling of Tang Dynasty. I'm sorry, before the unification of Tang Dynasty, I got confused. After the Han Dynasty, yeah.
Okay, maybe we can. Oh, Eric, you have.
Is that okay?
Yes,
Good,
please.
sure.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your history. That was really interesting. And you mentioned that archaeology was the closest to art.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really interesting point that you were making. I just wanted to hear a little bit more about what you meant there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the archaeology study ancient script, like oracle bone style. I just mentioned to Dr. Li, this painting actually is the earliest writing font in China. Is this character? This, let me just write it here. So just because nobody can read it, but this is a mark, a pottery mark found in Neolithic time near her hometown in Shandong province, in Dawenkou Wenhua, right?
Okay, yeah.
You understand? Yeah. So this among the four, we cannot call it characters, but symbols are. We know there is some meaning in it, and the interpretation is this. This is how it reads today, and maybe you can read I think this is probably the seal script, something like that. Yeah, but originally, scholars think this is the same character. It's like the New Year's Day, or the new beginning. At the beginning of the day, the sun rising, right? So my name is Xiao Hui, sun, morning sun, morning beam of sun. Yeah, Xiao Hui. That's illustration of my name. Yeah. So just a quick example. Also, we have to learn technically drawing and photography. Besides, we become a professional tourist. Just travel around around the country. I spend half of the university time outside the campus, touring the country. Yeah, on the fields. Yeah, just like geology students. Yeah, we have the same equipment. Yeah. Okay.
All right, maybe we should get started.
Yeah, I already started. But so first thing you want to do is to pick up your brush and put in the water to soak it And then you do this gently on the wall of the bottle or cup to squeeze out the extra moisture. Okay, and let me ask you guys what subject matter you most want to start. I can give you a choice: bamboo, orchid, plum. Orchid? Okay, good. Okay. All right. So just load the brush with maybe less than 1/3. Dip in the ink. Do not blend. Okay, so the bottom of the brush is still water, and you can test it like this, just to see how smearing it is, how bleeding it is. If it's too thirsty, load some more, and if you have too much water in the bottom, in the heel, you can use this piece of paper, just kind of control take some off, so it's not dripping. Okay. So basically, you load it, and it's not going to smear that much. Okay, so we can use, let me see, orchid. Maybe we make a landscape composition better, I feel. Okay, and you have this grid underneath it, right? You can kind of match them if you can to see if you can find the middle, and you can also do this. I usually just do this, something like this. You want to kind of avoid the center spot. Well, the best is you have a tic-tac-toe board, kind of a grid, the thirds, but it's okay. If you avoid the center spot, you'll be fine. Okay. The space we work on is graded like the tic-tac-toe. So it has thirds, right? Avoid the middle. So these are the. Let me move my. Is the camera still following me?
It's pretty good for me.
Pretty good. Oh, let me just move it a little bit closer, so because it's kind of far. I have to manage this. You can see I'm a professional video cameraman. Okay. I have like 50,000 followers on YouTube, subscribers on YouTube. Okay. Every painting has a starting point, not from the corners. So plus these 4 points, avoid those corners. And besides, you can start from anywhere. So I will start right in the above this, not pointing to the corner, right? Then you draw a diagonal kind of curve line. It's pointing to somewhere here, and going. I don't want to make the bend right in the middle either. So going up and down, and then maybe something like that. Have you seen orchid leaves? It's a long blade, but it's pretty stiff. It has bone in it, not just like a daylily. It goes like that, right? It's very strong. Okay, you hold the brush at the slant position. First of all, you hold like this. You hold with 2 fingers, thumb and the index finger, and then grab from outside with your middle finger, and then use your ring finger to, so all 5 fingers, hold it straight. And use your arm to move the line. So the tip of the brush stays behind the stroke. You don't ever do this. You understand? Just pour. And so in the beginning, you make a press slightly, and then just keep that even, and start to lift, and then press, lift, like that. Can you make this arc? Okay, this is what we call dividing of heaven and earth. Can you see the empty space that is divided? Not just concentrate on the line, but the negative shape is most important. Speaking of that, the second stroke is going to make a crossing and form a crescent moon shape. You can go either on the outside, up or lower. In my case, I go lower because it's pretty high already. So I will make a, let me see. It's a little bit tricky here. Let me just do it this way. We make a crescent above it and then down, but it's shorter. So one long, one short. So this one is a supporting rule, not as dominant as the first one, but kind of maybe 2 parallel. You can make it a little different. This we always tend to go 2 parallel. Let me just make it up a little bit. So this area, do you see that? This crescent shape, we call it the phoenix eye in classical Chinese painting. And then the third stroke make another curve to the left, but it was pretty straight. Okay, to break this area, not in the middle, but lower 1/3. This is the crossing here to make a crossing right there, and you can go all the way outside the frame. Okay, to break the phoenix eye, it's just traditional terminology. You can call it a crescent or some other name, doesn't matter. As long as you can see see this area, this closed, and then we can make some more lines. What we call, actually here is what we call the elephant eye. It's an open crossing, This area, this is the phoenix eye. This is another, is an open crossing. This is closed. This two line make a closed shape. Okay, and then we can make another 3 lines. Let me try to break this. So make a straight line, maybe from behind, crossing and go up. Now I try to correct this area to make it a diamond shape, this triangle shape. This is called the negative shapes. This is what we are focusing on. So besides the line quality, we're pouring the stroke instead of pushing. Okay, and try to keep the center of the stroke, center of the brush in the center of the stroke. okay? Not on the side. And try to make another 3. One long, just straight. This is the leaf shoots. Make like a X crossing, short. One long, one short. And the third one, break that little. Okay, this is like a, and then you can add, if needed, any short ones on the bottom, pointing to the root, but not connecting. There is no soil in this kind of classical orchid painting, because when asked the first artists who did this in the Southern Song dynasty, you know the Southern Song, because they are captured in Hangzhou instead of Kaifeng, which was captured by the Mongolians. So they're migrants or political refugees, right? So when asked why his painting doesn't have soil, he said, we have lost land. So it became a symbol of migration, or survival, a refugee, or whatever culture. So it has emotions behind, just let you know. Art is not about just beautiful things only. It's about communication, expression of common emotions. Okay. And let's do the flowers. So now your brush is dark, right? So you can use the napkin. Use napkin. I'll show you how to do it. You don't want to wash the brush. The ink is, the water is precious ink. We just, you take half of the brush, just blot it. Half of the brush, suck out the remaining ink, make it really dry, thirsty. Okay, and then your water is your white. Add white to it. Just barely touch the water. Don't stick. Don't dip in. Just like just water. Just like a quarter inch. Okay. Maybe it's still too dark. Do it again. I suck a little more, and then this time I know it's going to work. This time it's pretty light. Trust me. Okay, the spring orchid is only 2 flowers. Okay. Let me show you. 5 petals each. 3. It's like this. Can you just make this gesture? So the center, it's form a triangle shape, and with 2 like this. So this is a gesture they call it the 兰花手, orchid flower gesture in Peking opera. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I'll just make it higher so you can see. Let's just do 1, 2. So it forms a little phoenix eye. You know phoenix eye, right? A little space, oval space, and then break it either from top or bottom with a narrow petal. And then you don't want to touch the bottom. You're just pointing to the handle, like this, from outside in. Press and lift. And then there's a stem. Okay, the flower has a long stalk or spark, right? Spark, like that. It has some sepals, whatever it's called. And you can make another one. Crossing this, I'm using the flower kind of hide my weakness, so you won't see that. And it's just like that. So this 2 flowers. If it's spring orchid or other kind of orchid, it has up to 9. So this stalk could be very long. But seasonal flower, the spring orchid only have 2, maybe 3. So we can just add 1. This, I use my artist license. So yeah. And so